Hey there guys, and welcome back. On this week's show, we're making Santa's boot prints. Now imagine the excitement of the little ones when they wake Christmas morning, and not only is there presents under the tree, but there are footprints, Santa's footprints, leading up to the tree where he delivered those presents. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. Now we need to make a stencil in order to do this, and that's what it's going to start with over at the bench. Well, the first thing you need for this project is a pair of boots. Any boot will do. For me, it's just a pair of old work boots. I don't want these stencils to be identical, and I don't want them to be perfect because boot prints are not perfect. So what we want to do is take a rubbing of this boot print, and the way we're going to start it off is with a piece of paper. Going to lay it on top of the boot, and we have a wax crayon, and very carefully we're just going to rub the wax crayon over top of the boot, just like this. And you can see we're starting to get the imprint of the treads of our boot. So we will do this and get a rubbing for each one of our boots, our left and our right. And there is one done. So I will do now the opposite boot, and then I'll show you what the next step is going to be. Well, I've taken our boot rubbing and I have placed it on my shop-made light table. Now, if you don't have a light table, don't worry about it. You can do this in front of a window. I've taped the boot rubbing to our light table. In your case, tape it to the window if that's what you have to do. And I'm going to place another piece of paper over top of our rubbing, and we will tape that one down as well. Now I'm just going to turn off some of the shop lights here to give us a little better image through the light table. And hopefully you can see there that we can see our boot print right through there. So what I'm going to do is I want to trace our boot print. It doesn't have to be perfect, like I said. This will be our pattern. So I'm just going to around some of the areas. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like that. That, and I'm just going to go around. I just want to do the outside tread of the entire boot. Okay, so you get the idea there. I'm going to trace this entire boot, and then I have something special in mind for in the center of the heel and the front of the boot. And before too long, you will have a couple of boot prints. Now, like I said, I have something special in mind for this area and this area right here, and even something special right here. So what I want to do is I've gone on the computer and I have just gotten a line drawing of a snowflake. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to place a couple of snowflakes here in the front end of the boot. And the same process, I'm just going to trace it and through the light table or the window or what have you. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, this is a boot print, and boots wear, and they wear unevenly. So it doesn't even have to be super perfect. So just like this. Now you don't have to put snowflakes on yours if you don't want to. This is just what I'm going to do. So you can feel free, if you just want the whole regular boot print, then do the whole boot print. I'm just making mine a little special, that's all. So here we go. We'll finish drawing this one out. and then I'll show you what it looks like. That. Okay, we'll just turn off the light here and check that out. Doesn't that look great? Okay, so what I want to do is I want to put another snowflake. Do I want one there? I don't know. Maybe a smaller one here and a smaller one here. Now I have printed up ones that are smaller, so maybe we'll try that and just see how it looks through the light table. Yeah, I think that'll look great. So I'm going to draw out a couple more smaller snowflakes here and then here in the heel, and then I'll show you the last thing that I want to do to this pattern. And after a little bit of tracing, this is what I've got for each boot. Now, the last thing that I want to add, and I think it's kind of a fun little touch, what would a Santa Claus boot be without a Santa Claus monogram right there between the heel and the front end of the boot? So we're just going to trace this on here. And there we go. That is our boot template, or the pattern for our boots. So the next thing that we're going to need is some 1/4 inch hardboard. Well, I have some 1/4 inch MDF here, or hardboard. I have cut it to an 11 1/4 by 18 inch length and laid some masking tape down on top of it. I've then taken my pattern, I've cut it out, and I've sprayed this with some spray adhesive. I've let it cure for 3 minutes just to let it tack up. And we're going to rub it down onto our masking tape here. Just like that. And we will do that for both patterns. Once you get that done, we've got to head over to the drill press. Well, at this point, we need to drill a blade entry hole in each one of our cutouts. So it doesn't have to be pretty. Just go around to each one of our drawn holes here, and we will drill. In this case, I'm drilling a 1/8 inch diameter hole. Well, this is a great project to showcase and demonstrate to you spiral blades. This is a large piece. It's very awkward to be turning this on a scroll saw, especially when you're doing things like the snowflakes. And because we don't need super crisp edges on this template, it's a boot print, spiral blades are perfect because you can work as your own CNC machine. Basically what I mean by that is with a spiral blade, you don't have to rotate your piece. And let me show you here. Now it cuts on all sides, so you can act kind of like a CNC machine and provide the movement on both the X and the Y axis. So you can see I can cut it sideways, I can cut backwards, forwards, following the pattern along here, going to the left. The blade cuts on all sides. So instead of having to rotate the piece, all I need to do is just move my stock in the direction that I want to be cutting. And if you go off the lines a little bit, don't worry about it. It's a boot print. Boots wear, and this is not a fine woodworking pattern. It's just a fun little stencil. And there you go. That is one piece of our template cut. Spiral blades are a great way to do this, and I would completely 100% recommend it for this project. It's up to you. I mean, if you want to spin it, you can spin it and just use a traditional straight blade. But I'm going to cut this entire thing out now, both boots, using this spiral blade, and I'll see you when I get it all finished. You know, I've decided that I want to show you how easy it can be to cut these snowflakes. I know it looks like an intimidating pattern, but let me show you how easy it is with a spiral. And I'll do this in real time so you have an idea of what it takes. Again, just move the piece on your X or your Y axis as you see fit. And just like that, your snowflake is cut. So don't discount the spiral blades. Give them a try, guys, and get your boot prints cut out. And when you're done, you end up with something like this, and you just want to peel off your pattern. It is important because of the way that this pattern or this template is used. The masking tape is an important step because it will prevent any sticky residue from being left on your hardboard. So peel off your pattern, and then what I would suggest with spiral blades, it's inevitable that they leave kind of a fuzzy edge on the back end of your cutting. So I would suggest flipping this over, using a quarter sheet sander, and just cleaning up the back of your template to make sure that all those little fuzzies that may be there are gone. And that is all she wrote for these templates, guys. But how do you use them? This is the best part. Let me show you what you do. Well, now comes the fun part. And on Christmas Eve, once your kids are all settled and everything is said and done, they're sound asleep, you take your templates just like this, and you don't need a lot, but make sure that the lettering is the right way. But you just tap a little bit. You can use flour, you can use baking soda, baking powder, whatever you like, but you just tap a little bit onto your templates, just like this. And then lift your template and move it up to the next footprint. And then lift your template and move it back. Look at that. Isn't that great? That is spectacular. My granddaughter's gonna lose her mind. Okay, so it only takes seconds. It doesn't take a lot of flour because you don't need a ton of it. Get a little bit more in the SC there. And then you lift the template off. Oh my goodness. So guys, this is a great way to really bring the excitement and extra excitement to the children on Christmas morning. Good gosh. Physical proof that the jolly fat guy has been here. And I don't mean me. Oh my, look at that. Guys, you gotta try this. You really, really do. And there you have it. Santa's footprints. Guys, I absolutely love the Christmas season. I don't care if I get any gifts at all. I really don't. The enjoyment I get from Christmas is watching the children. I love watching them get their gifts, the excitement, the pure joy that they have on Christmas morning is just mind-blowing. And this is just another way to boost that joy and boost that excitement to the next level. What did it take? It took a couple pieces, 11 1/4 by 18 by 1/4 inch thick of hardboard or MDF or whatever you want to use. You could even use plywood if you have it, whatever you have. And it took a crayon rubbing of an old pair of work boots and some creative tracing of snowflakes and the letters SC. And you end up with a wicked template that is reusable year after year after year after year. And when that sad day comes that child no longer believes in the fat jolly guy, pass the template on to a family whose children are younger that do have the belief so that they can experience the joy too. Heck, why not make several sets? Don't just make one, make several. Give them as pre-Christmas gifts to your friends who have little ones. Honestly, it's just a fantastic, fun thing to do. It gave me time at the scroll saw. I got to do some spiral blade cutting. I got to make a pattern. I really enjoyed it. I had a great time, and you can have a great time too. But guys, honestly, this here is one of those things that it's time well spent. And although it was like a couple hours for me to cut these out, who cares? The amount of joy and smiles that it's going to bring on my granddaughter's face when she sees those Santa footprints. And if that's not worth 2 hours of my time, what is? And guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. By the time this show airs, I will have scanned my originals of this. So if you're not into the whole crafty thing of, doing a rubbing of your boot and adding the snowflakes and the SC and all that stuff, if you're not into that and you just want the pattern, send me an email. Send an email to acutabove_woodworking@hotmail.com. Be more than happy to share this with you so that you can bring a little extra fun to your little ones. Guys, here's the thing. I used flour for these, so depending on the type of vacuum that you have or what have you, mix it up. If you want to use, say, sugar so that it's not going to gum up your vacuum filter, depending on your vacuum, then use sugar. I mean, you can use whatever you want as long as it's something that will show up on the floor. It could even be sugar on a hardwood floor and then it gets swept up afterwards. Whatever you like, whatever it takes to get the footprints there. Maybe not spray paint. If you haven't already, guys, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Click that bell and then you won't miss the future notifications of the show. I hope that you've enjoyed today's content. It's a load of fun. I hope that you're going to try this for yourself. Give those little ones a little extra joy on Christmas morning. And more importantly, guys, I hope you're going to join me again next week when I bring you yet another Alternative Tuesdays.